That's really hard blowing wind. What's up, guys? I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report. We're going to get started here shortly, but let's kick off with a song. It's Wednesday, 9:03 a.m., U.S. Pacific Daylight Time. Nothing hand-picked for you. Joel Friday is going to provide the music, courtesy of John Parfit. Bright Lights. Very nice. It's the 24th of March, 2021. Anno Domini, which means the year of our Lord, right? Which means it's not after death. It's not AD after death. AD is Anno Domini. But now the liberals, you can play it. You can start playing it whenever. Wow. Very nice. This is a great song from John Parfit. Bright Lights. A break in the system. How is the song volume for you guys? I'm talking over it, so it has to be a little quieter. No sound? Oh, come on. Press 1 if it's great. Press 2 if 2 means low. Okay, 2 means low, I guess. Pretty quiet. Turn it up a little bit. Nice. It's very quiet. Too quiet. You able to adjust it? Nice. Usually I put 2 for too loud, guys, but somebody jumped the gun and put 2 for too low. 3 means too quiet. Another inspiring song from John Parfit. You can find it. Shush, Hake. Says Malkuthak. So I will be getting to your calls. 888-775-3773. I was talking about how the secularists changed AD, because we are in AD right now, right? The year of our Lord, Anno Domini. They changed it to Common Era, CE, or just C, for Common Era. Scumbags want to erase Christianity, pure evil. And instead of BC, before Christ, they put BCE, before Common Era. Is this Blink-182? Asks Colin Barrett. Secularists, they're evil. Might as well be Satanists, because that's what they are. I'm going to be talking about equal pay today, because it is... what day is it? I heard that it's equal pay day. Ridiculous. Reparations, the Boulder shooting, the FBI, the sleazy intelligence communities. We used to think the FBI was so cool and secret agents were so cool. Nope, not true. This song is called Break in the System. Break in the System by Bright Lights. You can find it on YouTube without me talking over it. And gun control, they're pushing gun control, virus hype. You know, they're moving on from lockdowns, although they're not completely moving on from lockdowns, but their next thing is to push vaccines. What a shame. Forced vaccinations. I really like this beach scene. This is Santa Monica Beach, I believe. Or it might be Huntington Beach. I forget where I was there. And the Asian victim hype, all of that stuff, and your calls. Let's fade this out and get on started. Hake, please don't pick out your wedding music, says Brandon M. Okay, let's get started with the show. I think. Oh, yeah. 1, 2. Shall I just do it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Give it 1 second, guys. Oh, it's the Hake Report. Looks like Huntington Beach to Colin Barrett. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Nice talking with you too, Madi Ubaldo, over there on Monday. That was cool. I'm glad you were able to call in and check in. Let me know when you have the thing.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the
am fine. Somebody said, I think Jeffrey Shiflett said, you guys see sunset. I see sunrise. Well, you're seeing it wrong. It's actually a sunset. I wasn't on the beach at sunrise. You kidding me? But anyway, it is a wild world right now. I wanted to present to you, according to TheSkimm, today, and I should Google this, equal pay day, because I almost don't believe it. Oh, equal pay day in Portugal is Tuesday, November 2nd. But I don't know. In the United States, today is the, Wednesday, March 24th. So maybe they're lying. TheSkimm does often tend to be fake news. It's female run. But TheSkimm with Fidelity Brokerage said today is equal pay day. It marks the fact that women would have to work on average about 3 months longer to earn what men do in a year. Hopefully we are headed to a brighter, more equitable future. Sounds like, what, is TheSkimm written by Justin Trudeau, the proud feminist, and Sophie Trudeau over in Canada? In the meantime, it's a great day to make sure your money works as hard as you do. Open a retirement account from Fidelity. I wonder if Fidelity okayed this messaging. Makes me want to boycott Fidelity. Not that I ever use them. So yes, I'm boycotting Fidelity. In Fidelity, what is that thing? Shameful. And reparations, before I get to calls. Evanston, Illinois. I think I told you guys this before. Population 73,000 has become the first U.S. city to approve reparations for black Americans. And for some reason, they're capitalizing black. And that reason is kissing up. Reparations are a way to address historical injustices, they say, and most often given in the form of compensation. Native Americans, which they mean American Indians, received reparations from the U.S.'s seizure and pillaging of native lands. I don't know how widespread that actually was, but as did Japanese Americans affected by internment camps. But black Americans have been excluded. Time and time again, the U.S. has failed to compensate black Americans for slavery and generations of racial discrimination that have led to wealth, housing, and education disparities. Now a Chicago suburb is paving the way. What a shame. If anything, they owe us. Let's be honest. With all the destruction that they do, they're a net loss. In many cases, on society, a drag on society, not helping. Some are helping, some are contributing, right? On Monday, Evanston City Council voted 8-1. Is this old news or did this happen already? I guess they were talking about it. 8-1 to approve local reparations in the hopes of compensating residents who'd suffered from the city's housing discrimination laws, because they wanted things separated back in the day. That includes blacks who lived in the city from 1919 to 1969. It officially passed this week. Before the city passed a so-called fair housing law, which it's probably not fair at all. Their descendants and anyone who can prove they faced housing discrimination because of city policies. People who qualify could receive $25,000 each in housing grants, repairs, property down payments. City has $400,000 to distribute, wants to raise $10 million using recreational marijuana sales. Degeneracy. So they're probably going to encourage buying marijuana so that they can make money off of those sales and then pay blacks. Talk about a mess. That's terrible. One city official voted against the plan, called it a housing plan dressed up as reparations. Yeah. Critics said people should have a say in what to do with the money. Racial justice groups, which is not justice, activists and other city officials say it's a step in the right direction. Could lead to other reparation efforts by federal government and other cities. What a shame. The state of California and other cities like Amherst, Asheville, and Iowa City, I guess those are in Illinois, are looking into this mess too. Georgetown University is on board, and Sheila Jackson Lee, remember that black female Democrat from Texas, congressman? female congressman, introduced a House bill. She's been doing this, calling for a commission to study reparations and slavery, something that sleepy President Biden said that he supports. And TheSkimm, being the fake news, female-minded liberals that they are, and they're females themselves, said it's the first step towards addressing generations of systemic racism. What they don't admit is most of the stuff that the disproportionate suffering of blacks is blacks' own fault for how they live, their own doing. They don't look at the details of the individuals in these cases and why they suffer, how they make other people suffer around them, how they don't upkeep their homes and stuff like that. They have a lot of crime, a lot of bad attitude, even among those who don't have crime, etc. And they elect people who do worse for the community too, mostly Democrats on a national and local level. They don't admit that the stuff that isn't directly blacks' fault, like unchecked immigration, right? It's no wonder that blacks hate Asians and Hispanics and everybody else. Battling with immigrants for education and housing and jobs and the healthcare stuff. That's Democrats and rhinos' fault. Yes, the rhinos too. Minimum wage, another bad one for employment. Overregulation, globalization. Detroit used to be a bustling city, I think. Crazy. But honestly, I still stand by that. Blacks owe us. They've never had it so good on a physical, financial level, even spiritually. They came to America, and America gave them Christianity. What more could you want? Right? So anyway, I'm going to talk about the Boulder shooting and other stuff, but I want to get to a call or two here. 888-775-3773. Your second favorite caller and mine is on the line. Earl in Michigan, how are you doing?
Hola, buenos dias.
Hey.
To James.
Nice to hear from you.
Great.
Don't you agree that reparations are ridiculous?
Don't ask me a stupid question. I haven't had it, so I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know that it's ridiculous?
I don't know. Ask the Japanese. Did they think it was ridiculous?
Hopefully. Hopefully. That's a non-answer.
That got reparations for the internment of being held as American citizens as prisoners.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it might have been ill-advised, but what are you supposed to do? They have the face of the enemy. They could be spies or anything. That was FDR's. That was FDR's doing.
So was the Germans, but they were white.
No, the Germans were not. Yeah, the Germans. Yeah, that's true. The Germans faced
because you were German, did you?
The Germans faced discrimination too, but the Germans did not directly attack us. The Japanese did. And anyway, that was FDR's doing. FDR was a communist, and he was probably misguided in everything that he did.
And
I call him a communist, but he was communist-friendly.
Like Charles Lindbergh and all these folks, your heroes, was communists too.
I don't know anything about that.
I know you don't.
The point is, you can't answer the question. The obvious answer is yes, reparations are ridiculous, especially for blacks.
No, that's because of your biased racist attitude. You think I should think like you, who your people have always had it great in the society, and you think we should be thankful for the crumbs that you throw out, though we have to struggle and fight for everything we got.
You don't have to do that. Give me a break.
The
only thing you're struggling to do is keep up with me.
Just face facts, fool. United States has been racist and partial to white folks since its inception. And you can't even admit
It's interesting that you won't admit that it is ridiculous.
Have they been partial to white folks since their inception?
He's too ashamed to say that it's not ridiculous because he knows that it is ridiculous to say reparations.
Have they been partial and racist to white folks?
Who? Blacks? Blacks have been racist to white folks. Yes.
Have they been racist and partial? The United States and their rulings and their laws was intention to favor white folks.
This is a white country.
Has that not been true?
This is a white country, and you're privileged to live in it.
So, in other words,
you're privileged to live in it.
You agree. When you get
I pay attention to Trovo.
Duck and dodge, you agree.
You agree that reparations is ridiculous?
But, you're lying fool. But let me talk about. I want to ask you the.
You're getting muffled.
And Zach.
Stay close to your phone.
Do you remember that?
Stay close to your phone.
Okay. I was going to answer Zach and Wilbur from Austin, Texas, and Zach from Texas too.
Oh, great.
Young
hey,
kid.
By the way, Cobra Koi 99 says there are more poor white people than the whole black population.
I know that, but you don't bring that up.
Huh? Why do I have to bring it up?
You focus on the.
So should we reparations them too?
You promote and push how blacks are inferior and negative all the time. You don't want to point out any inequities of white folks and the bad things that they've done in history. You want to focus on the black folks.
Fluky Unicorn says, get a job.
That's what you've been doing for years.
Fluky Unicorn says, get a job, Earl. Well, she doesn't say Earl, but she said,
what nonsense that he says. The truth is the truth. The facts are the facts. And, by the way.
All right.
Wilbur wanted me to comment on whether Robert Smalls.
Yeah, Wilmer. Yeah, he said that Robert Smalls said we should eliminate the Democrat Party.
Right. In that era, what he failed to realize, in that era, there was only two sides. One was the antagonists of black folks, which were the Democrats in the 1800s and 1860s and so on. And you had one that was for the for black folks, which was the Republicans in that era. Of course, he wanted to side with the one that was with the blacks at that time, which was something that Wilbur overlooked. He just looked at the party. He didn't look at who was for who and why they were for who.
Why were the Republicans, quote unquote, for blacks?
Because they thought some of the abolitionists and so forth thought blacks should be granted rights, some even as equal to white folks. There was such a resistance by white folks who the Democratic Party represented that thought that was an incursion into white privilege, that they shouldn't rock the boat. They should let things stay out as it is. Blacks stay in their place.
You actually believe in this white privilege mess? And you're a male?
That's a fact, fool.
That's not a fact.
Why do you think the laws was skewed to
They weren't skewed laws. It was just laws, dude.
No, you just can't face facts.
No, you can't face facts. You can't face the truth.
Ridiculous. You don't know the truth.
You're silly.
You probably don't even know if your name is really James.
Yeah, I do.
It's phony. I mean, the evidence is overwhelming, and you still got to lie about
Earl,
it.
who is for blacks today?
It's the Democratic Party.
You're a sucker. You're a sucker, Earl. The blacks Democrats do not care about blacks, nor do blacks, honestly.
You
are an absolute sucker.
I'll show you how foolish you are. I'll show you how foolish you are, you lying fool.
Go on.
It would be the Democratic Party of the 1860s that would be doing the things that the Republican Party of today is doing. They used to be the ones that prevented blacks from voting. providing
Good.
obstacles for blacks to get elected.
Very good.
And so
You can't
forth.
even
They were the ones.
interpret
Now-
reality present day,
it's
Earl.
the
What's all your
Republicans.
historical knowledge do for you if you
That's
don't
what-
even
now
see
it's the
reality
Republicans.
today? You're pathetic.
Explain me this,
Earl,
James.
Earl,
Explain me
Earl,
this, James.
Earl,
Explain me
Earl.
this, James.
Earl,
Explain me this, James.
Earl. Bible go-to
Explain me this.
Bible go-to guy has a question for you. Several questions
Okay,
for
I'll
you.
get to his question.
All
But
right.
explain me this.
Okay.
Just before you get to his question.
All right.
One is the Republican Party who made making a policy, making laws that makes it harder for blacks to vote, that you have to stand in line 8, 9, 10 hours in length of time, and then make a law that says if you give a person water or food, that's against the law. What was the purpose of that, James?
I don't know, Earl. And what are you
You
talking
can't
about? Are you talking
justify
about
it, can
present
you?
day? Are you
Because it's obvious.
Earl, are you talking
It's
about present
obvious.
day?
That is present day.
That's
one
not
of the
present day.
250 bills that the Republicans trying to push to change voting accessibility and rights. They're
Yeah,
making it
because
illegal.
voting is
They're
too
making
wide
it
open,
illegal
Earl.
to give somebody water in line, even though you may stay there 9, 10, or whatever.
Nobody's
many hours.
standing in line 10 hours. You're being ridiculous.
Yes, they were.
Today?
Idiot.
Today?
In the 2020 election, they had lines as long as 8 to 9, 10 hours.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
Now,
I don't buy
now
it.
they're trying to pass legislation after the fact, since they low.
I don't buy it. Earl.
Check the facts. Check the facts.
I'm not
now, what
interested.
is the Bible go-to guy's question?
Okay, Bible go-to guy asks, who freed the slaves, black men or white men?
It was a combination of blacks and whites. It was a sympathetic blacks. It was a
Who
sympathetic
freed the
white.
slaves, black men or white men?
Yes.
How come that long pause to come up with a lie? Who eliminated the Jim Crow laws, black men or white men? Hello? Oh, I think he dropped. I think he hit mute. Check your mute button, Earl. What a mess. Anyway.
I said, who
He came off of mute. You were on mute, right?
yeah. I said, who made...
He came back like he did nothing wrong.
Who enslaved them in the first place, that they needed to be freed by the same white folks that enslaved them?
You should be thankful.
No, that ain't my question. Who did that, James?
I'm not going to answer your question because you're being dumb.
No, you can't
Everybody
answer it
around the
'cause it
world.
puts you in
Hold
the
on.
pickle,
I'm not
and it-
ashamed of Earl. I'm not ashamed of slavery, and neither should you be. You're being pathetic.
I'm just being factual
No,
about
you're
it.
not being
What you
factual. Who cares
is
about
evasive.
slavery?
You're being
Who cares
evasive
about it?
and you're a denier
Yeah.
in facts that can be proven over and over.
It's a dumb fact.
Over-
It's a useless
There's
fact.
overwhelming evidence that you try to block out by thinking that all you have to do.
Do these
is
guys
say
want
it
to
didn't
talk to
happen.
Earl, Nick? Do you know if these guys want to talk to Earl?
Is there somebody else?
Okay. Earl, Bible go-to guy wants to talk to you. Do you want to talk to him? All right. I'll let Bible go-to guy talk to you. Bible go-to guy, I don't know if Earl keeps on hitting mute. He is a boomer or maybe older. But go ahead.
I fully understand. I fully understand. These phones are tricky.
Yeah.
What you got to do is you got to get rid of the screen that shows the phone buttons before you start talking. Otherwise,
Yeah, we're holding it away
you
from your
might
face.
hit one of those buttons accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just a little list of things. Now he said, who actually started the slavery? Well, slavery was going on in Africa hundreds of years.
And to this day.
To this day, before the white man ever got involved with it. The Arabs were blacks. One thing blacks have been good at over the years if they've been good at nothing else, it's being a slave. And they've just been dogged out by everybody around them in Black Africa, you know. And, I was even watching some science thing on TV, and it's like the 15 greatest inventions, the largest machines in the world, you know, that kind of thing, right? And I said, it's going to be interesting. So I watched it. And I said, and then a question came to my head. I said, I wonder how many of these greatest machines existing today were created in Black Africa. Well, that was just a joke kind of question, because we all know that, you know, not a single one, of course. No medical advances, no military advances, no nothing comes out of Black Africa. And we're always being compared to, you know, how we treat the blacks, and yet the blacks don't want to go back to their own African native lands.
Right.
And who can blame them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They've never had it so good.
Guy, you're going on a long time. Let me ask you this, Bible go-to guy. For one thing, slavery existed before you, thousands of years before you get to Africa and so forth. It existed before Jesus' time and so forth. It's been existing since time immemorial. So just to categorize as just in Africa is a mistake in your history to begin with. Number one.
Where Jesus was is nowhere near Africa. Let's get that straight.
Huh?
Huh? Where Israel is not in Africa.
I never said Israel was in Africa, idiot.
Don't be so nasty,
Africa,
Earl.
idiot, if Egypt in Africa,
Israel is not part of Africa. Hello?
I said Egypt, fool. Are you hard of hearing? Or you just deliberately being an ignoramus? What is Egypt, fool?
Egypt is Egyptians. Egyptians are not.
Where is Egypt? Answer the question, avoider.
Avoider. Egypt is North Africa.
Who made the pyramids? Socrates and Plato gave
the Jews
great
built
credit
the pyramids.
to the Egyptians for their inventions.
Listen, that's what Earl.
The Greeks.
You bring up
Did you know that, idiot?
Earl, you bring up a great point. That's why I always say that for the last 5,000 years, because I consider, you know, maybe the Egyptians were blacks, all right? So I say for the last 5,000 years.
Now you're trying to mitigate it
for the
a little
last
bit.
5,000 years, though.
Found out you were wrong.
That Egyptian civilization you're talking about? That Egyptian civilization you're talking about, Earl? That Egyptian civilization you're talking about?
Wow. You admitted you were wrong, fool.
Wrong about? No, I said they may be. I don't admit to being wrong. I just said they may be. I don't know. I don't know. But nothing has happened from black Africans in 5,000 years. That the Egyptians were how many thousands of years ago?
I don't know.
So what has black Africans?
The world's only 8,000 years old.
Yeah, really.
If you're a young earther.
What have they done since then?
What are you saying?
Absolutely nothing.
Or superior to black folks? Is that your message?
By the way,
Baba Go-To guy?
Is that your point, Baba Go-To guy?
That's my point.
Dang.
See, it's
a heavy hitter.
Don't exist.
But see,
how do you feel
the reason why I say this, James, is America is under existential.
So hold on, just to clarify, just to re-clarify, are you saying that blacks are inferior to whites? Because he said, are you saying whites are superior to blacks?
Listen to the hesitation. Why the hesitation?
And not because there's anything wrong with their brains or mechanical or anything like that. They just don't have the spirit or the soul.
Superior.
There's something else missing that's spiritual.
Bible Go-To guy?
So, Earl, he's just saying, he's not saying it's racism. It's not race. It's the messed up spirit of you people.
Yep. It's been dogging them for thousands of years.
Or superior.
Interesting.
And another thing, on a total different subject, you had Sidney Powell. Did you
Yeah.
hear the latest about him?
we talk. Let's talk about Sidney Powell tomorrow, Earl.
Yeah, because he kind of y'all a bunch of fools for listening to her.
No, we're not.
How you feel about that?
No. No, we'll talk about Sidney Powell tomorrow, though. Thanks, man. Nice to talk with you, Earl. Adios. He keeps on going on mute or something. But thank you, Earl. Well, thank you, Bible Go-To guy. Interesting.
All right. Thanks, James.
Good to hear from you.
Thank-
Take care. Let me get to Social Pariah. He's been on hold forever out of Denver, Colorado. We need some sense on the line. What's up, Social Pariah?
How's it going, James?
Going well. How are you?
Good.
Nice.
Poor Earl.
Yeah.
So I was reading this book, The Naked Communist, and they were talking about how, they use Marxist policies, in America. That,
Yeah.
In Russia, they had like a big difference in wealth between the poor and the wealthy. And so they use that. Their whole strategy is to pit one against the other. And they didn't really have that in America, so they used race. And if I was a black person in America, I'd be angry that they, I've been lied to and that they've used me as a pawn for so long.
Yeah. Very true.
But they're really deceptive and good at what they do, so I can't really fault, for being fooled. But
Yeah. And
anyway,
and they're like
Okay.
raised from a young age, generation after generation. You just wind them up and let them go.
yeah, it's really evil
Yeah.
what the left has done. Their whole narrative is based on subversion and lies. And
Yep.
I was going to share something with you that I didn't know if you'd heard this before or not, but it was from JFK. I'm on MeWe, and somebody posted this.
MeWe is another social media platform, right? Is it Chinese? What is it? What is MeWe?
It's kind of like it's like Facebook.
Is it from China? Who started MeWe? Doesn't
No,
it
I
sound
think
Chinese?
It's like me and then we. It's not like a Chinese word. It's just I think it's an American guy that.
American
Yeah.
social media service founded in 2012 as S Grouples. Based in Culver City, California, right down the road, by Mark Weinstein. Okay.
Yeah, I went full bore after the First Amendment purge of everybody on Facebook, and I dropped Facebook, I dropped Twitter, I dropped all of that, and just it was kind of a sacrifice because I had family stuff on pictures and stuff, but
Yeah.
that was like
So you
no more.
outright
I had to just get off.
canceled your accounts, huh?
Yeah, I wish I kind of had taken more time and kept some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that's
just
pretty
canceled it
extreme.
all.
It's popular among American conservatives, conspiracy theorists, and anti-vaxxers. Sounds like a good crowd.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff on here that some people do. They do fixate on it a little more than they probably should.
Right. Yeah.
But
That's true.
this thing on here, it says, one day after I'm long gone, you will remember me and say we should have stopped the nuclear program in Israel, abolished the Federal Reserve, and kicked out secret societies, occultists, usurpers, and Zionists out of the wonderful country to keep it the way it was. But it is never too late. Just remember that.
Interesting.
So that was JFK, and he was a Democrat.
Wow. JFK said that as president?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. No wonder he was shot and killed. Yikes.
Yeah, it was like...
He literally
fixing
said,
to
can you
sign
read that quote one more time? Shocking to think about that coming from a president. Different times, am I right? Different times, totally different culture. Think about how much the culture's changed just in 20 years or 10.
But people have been, I guess people have been saying that for the longest time. It's just a miracle that everybody hasn't awoken and said, hey, I want to keep my freedoms. I don't care about, free stuff. I don't care about all that other stuff. But
yeah,
here it is. Here it is again.
Okay.
One day after I'm long gone, you will remember me and say, we should have stopped the nuclear program of Israel, abolished the Federal Reserve, and kicked out all secret societies, occultists, usurpers, and Zionists out of our wonderful country to keep it that way. But it is never too late. Just remember that.
Interesting. And he was an Irish Catholic, huh? If I recall right.
Yeah, he was like and his brother, he was, I kind of believe that he was actually in there for the right reasons. But then the left and the, what do they call that? The liberty, equal rights and all that came along, and they kind of used his brother, Robert Kennedy, he was a big part in passing the Hart-Celler Act, which was a big lie. And,
yep.
That was
that's the 1960. For those not familiar, probably all of you are. The Hart-Celler Act was the 1965 Immigration Act that started letting all kinds of people in. That became K-Town, Koreatown, and they just started letting everybody in like crazy. 1965.
They even specifically said in there that they wouldn't allow the population they allowed in to directly affect election results, lower wages of workers in America. That it was supposed to have had these provisions in it to stop the very things that they're allowing to happen.
Right, but no.
So.
Yeah, and that type of thing, along with like NAFTA, which was a Bill Clinton thing, or was it George Bush? All kinds of stuff has been signed that has hurt Americans, including black Americans, but they pretend, it's just racism. The same people who did this, who passed these things, blame other people for the problems and swoop in and pretend to fix it. Kind of like how crime is increasing, right? But no, they just call it crime against Asians is increasing. But it's crime, period, is increasing. And it's probably disproportionately among Asians because they're in those communities that they have to mix with these other races, like Hispanics and blacks. It's wild. That's interesting, Social Pariah. I appreciate it.
No problem. That's really all I had. I didn't know if you'd heard that or not before, but
I had not.
I'm really going to start looking into John F. Kennedy, because he sounds like the kind of guy like Trump that we needed, that actually...
Maybe so.
We're in it for America.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to decipher what real history is and was. It's hard enough to understand what's going on now. Anyway.
Yeah, it was...
yeah, go for it.
Anytime they have to use subversion and deception, it's because the product they're selling is not a good, not in our best interest, and that's all the left does.
Yep. They're just outright liars. Cheesehead69 said, they said it wouldn't disrupt the demographics, referring to the Hart-Sellers Act. They knew all along.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Social Pariah. Take care, man.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye. Very nice. This FBI, I heard that the FBI knew about this shooter who went to Boulder, Colorado, the Muslim guy. What is his name? Al-Isa. As they knew about, I heard, the Pulse nightclub shooter back in, 2016 or so? And then his dad was seen at a Hillary Clinton rally. This guy went to the Pulse nightclub, the gay club, right? Over in, Florida or Georgia or somewhere? And I think they might have known about the Florida Marjorie Douglas shooting, the Valentine's Day shooting from 2018, I believe it was. And I think that they were warned by Russia about the Boston Marathon bombers, the Tsarnaev brothers. And supposedly they knew a little bit about what could happen with the Capitol riot But did they prevent any of this stuff? No. They just hype and get, according to journalist Glenn Greenwald, who's a liberal, he's a homosexual, like openly, brazenly homosexual, but he's sometimes honest. I think he lives down in Brazil right now, causing trouble in Brazil. And I don't know what the real deal is regarding Brazil, but he said that the intelligence community flouting laws is increasingly involving itself in domestic politics. And the intelligence so-called community, there was a picture that Joel showed at the beginning of this show of Joe Biden, who was then vice president several years ago, right, under Obama, with the CIA director. Did you know that this guy was the CIA director? This Leon Panetta guy? I think of him as a Clinton person. All goofy, smiling and hugging up against Joe Biden at a headquarters, CIA headquarters in McLean, Virginia. And a report declassified last Wednesday by DHS. Last Wednesday, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, another misnomer, raising serious concerns about the possibility of illegal involvement by the intelligence community in U.S. domestic political affairs. And look at these people who are the directors of CIA. Leon Panetta. What's that other guy's name? I'm blanking on his name, but he goes on like CNN or MSNBC and just rails against Trump and cries and drama. FBI directors, same thing. Entitled Domestic Violent Extremism Poses Heightened Threat in 2021, the March 1st report from DNI, Director of National Intelligence, states it was prepared in consultation with the Attorney General and Secretary of Homeland Security, drafted by the National Counterterrorism Center, FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and CIA and Defense Intelligence Agency. The intelligence community assesses that domestic violent extremists, DVEs, who are motivated by a range of ideologies and galvanized by recent political and societal events, pose an elevated threat to the homeland in 2021. They asserted the most lethal threat posed by racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists. Militia violent extremists. Militia, I haven't heard of militia committing much violence at all. At all. Seriously. Including even like the black militia, the goofy black militia. Yeah, every now and then they may threaten somebody, or they'll shoot their own, or they'll shoot themselves. But I haven't heard of any of the militias getting out of hand. They talk about, Antifa, animal rights, environmentalists, pro-choice extremists, anarchists, but also anti-abortion people. I don't know. I don't trust these people. But they're involving themselves with local politics, and the country's getting more divided, so they have more of an excuse. That's why JLP is so right to get that people get over the anger, so that they don't give them the excuse. You know, you hear about cops, don't give me the excuse to, like, hit you with the billy club, right? Don't give these people the excuse to impose on our rights. You say, well, they will do it anyways. No, that's not good reasoning. Anyway, I got to get to more calls. Lines are full, guys. Hang tight. I want to get to Kraig in Illinois. He wants to comment on this reparations thing in Evanston, Illinois. What's up, Kraig? Good to hear from you.
Mr. Hake, how you doing, sir?
Doing well, thank you. You're Kraig with a K, right?
Yeah,
nice.
Kraig with a K. So, man, I wanted to talk to you about, what's going on down in over there in Evanston, Illinois, and I totally think that I call this a clue. You know what they're doing over at the border, right?
Yeah.
So what they're doing.
Letting people in.
Letting people in.
Yeah.
They're giving the blacks the money so they can just be calmed down or whatever to keep them from not complaining and all that stuff. But look what they're doing at the border.
Yeah.
You got a lot of homeless people out here in Illinois that are struggling. And white poverty is at its highest, but no one's talking about that.
Yeah.
It's
that is true.
Terrible.
And they're housing people in convention centers and San Diego and Dallas, Texas. By people, I mean illegals.
Right. I mean, I've watched some of the videos, and our Border Patrol out there are overwhelmed about what's going on, and they cannot believe that this commander of cheat is doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay? And especially knee pad Kamala Harris as well, too. Okay?
Yikes.
A woman
That's
that
kind of
don't
vulgar.
even salute the military when she get off the plane or get on the plane. Who she thinks she is?
Yeah.
Okay?
She's
So
silly.
what if our military, she wouldn't have the freedom that she has? Okay?
Right.
So, yeah, man, I just don't think, I don't agree with it at all. I don't want no reparations. I work my 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything by God. And you know what? That's all I need. I don't need no handout. I don't need nobody to give me, nothing, okay?
Right.
Because I'll work for mine, okay?
Yeah.
You know,
Of course.
So, man, it's how it's supposed to be, man.
Yep.
You know, I get so tired of hearing most black folks complaining about racism, and then when you tell them that it don't exist, they want to call you out your name and call you a coon.
Yep.
You're tired of that after a while, man. And it's like, you know what, I just walk away from people like that because they're ignorant.
Yeah. Be patient, though, Kraig. Don't let it get you down.
Yeah, that's why I've been, listening to y'all show, because I'm like, yeah, this is the proper way to handle it. Don't get, I can speak up, but don't resent.
Right.
But it's just not right, man. I don't like to see people get attacked, man. Like I feel sorry for y'all sometimes, man. I'm like, man, they
Don't feel
do
sorry,
nothing
man.
wrong.
Don't feel sorry.
I mean, I just hate that, man. It makes other races don't like us, man, because of the bullying and complaining and the lack of respect that most blacks show for others. And then I get tired of trying to explain myself.
Yeah.
I'm not like what you see on television.
Right.
I'm not like that at all. Okay, I have good moral character.
You do JLP's silent prayer?
Yeah, I do it off and on, but if he would have heard me say off and on, he would tell me to suffer.
Yep. True.
So, yeah, I got to get back into doing it, man.
Yeah.
If I could go ahead and get into, messing around with my DJ stuff, I can get back into the silent prayer. So
Yep.
once I start doing it again, man, I'll be so back on track on everything. It does work, though. It does.
Nice.
It does. So, but
Yeah.
thank you for your time, Mr. Hake, man.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Kraig.
it, man.
Good to hear from you.
And one more thing, Earl needs Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
See y'all later.
All right.
Hey.
Take care, Kraig.
Okay,
Bye. Yeah. I mean, Earl thinks, we're not listening. We're ignoring facts. But he's also just blind. He's focused on the wrong facts. The Bible says never tire in doing what's right. That's cool, huh? I got to get to Zach. Speaking of Earl, Zach in Columbus, Ohio. He's been on hold for some time now. What's up, Zach? How are you?
I'm good, Hake. How are you?
No man is good. I'm fine. Thank you.
Oh, man, I messed up.
Anyway.
Yeah, I just have a little response to Earl, and I want to ask him a couple questions for the next time he has on the show. Is
Okay.
Earl a Hebrew Israelite?
That's a good question. I doubt it, but
Because
it's a good
he's
question.
into all the black stuff and all that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't doubt if he was one of the Hebrew Israelites instead of a Christian.
You're coming in and out on your phone. Okay, stay close to your phone and stay still if you can.
All right, what about now?
Much
That
better.
sound good? Much better, okay. And I also want to say, Earl, he said something earlier. I don't even remember because I've been on hold for a while.
Yeah.
But he was just saying a bunch of out-of-pocket stuff. Regular Earl. Regular Earl.
Where'd you get that term, out of pocket? I mean, I know. Okay, so people say out of pocket as I know that blacks say it to mean out of hand, right? Out of hand.
Yeah, I kind of got it from the black.
Yeah.
I did get it from the
That's what
black.
I figured. Okay.
So
Didn't
I've
mean
been
to distract you.
Oh, no, you're fine. I've been using it a little bit now, like, oh, he's out of pocket.
Right.
But that's not the point. I just want to say to Earl, my only question for him is, are you a Hebrew Israelite? Because you're into all the black stuff. And that's really all I have. I
Okay.
just want to know.
All right.
Yeah, Earl.
Good question. Fair question. Thank you,
All
Zach.
right,
It's good to hear from you.
Yep.
All
Yep,
right.
you have a nice rest of your day.
You as well. Take care. Short and sweet. I got to read a few super chats, guys. Alvin from New Zealand said, good to hear Earl back on the show. I miss his entertaining lies. Yeah. And you know, Earl, not everything that you're saying is a lie. Some of it actually is, even though you don't know. But not everything you're saying is a lie. It's just, it doesn't matter. The way that you're judging these facts is incorrect. And Alvin from New Zealand also says, is it true Earl is going to be your best man at you and Holly Hake's wedding? Amazing. One can never tell the future. Hot Computer Smell says, yesterday's galaxy explosion noise was muy bueno. Thank you, Hot Computer Smell. And a Hot Computer Smell gave another super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report and said, Earl, I don't think you understand. I can only tolerate you in moderation. In little doses. I added that. But that doesn't mean I don't miss you when you're gone. It went from Earl fatigue to Earl withdrawal. And Sixto Rewhited gave a super chat. It says, Bible go-to guy, reckon as usual, put that 40 down, Earl. I don't know if Earl drinks. I forget to ask. Sometimes I ask him if he does, and I don't remember the answer. I kind of rather not know, right? Keep that stuff in the closet. The closet. Mobetta stand up with the diamond says, agree with Ilhan Omar. Some people did something? Yeah, very true. And now all of us have to suffer from being, what is that called? Profiled. Isn't it funny how they always profile the whites anytime a white does a interracial crime? They profile the white as being racist. That's racial profiling. They're doing what they accuse us of doing. But thank you, Mobetta Stand Up. And I'm not sure what context he tweeted that in regarding, but some people did do something. Mobetta Stand Up with another diamond on DLive.tv/The Hake Report. And he said, the way you know who enters heaven? Fictional chimneys. Oh, man. I'm sorry. That's funny. Inappropriate, but funny. Yikes. Ninja Huey gave a diamond and said, there's no virus worse than Andrew Cuomo. Yeah, very true. And there were some Trovo chats. Dark Side of the Bear What says, why is it Africans can treat white farmers terribly in Africa and nobody bats an eye, but America is racist? Amazing. Yeah, Trump tweeted about it, but that's the last we've heard since. He directed his Secretary of State, right? Pompeo, to look into it. Where's Pompeo? Where's Pompeo on that South Africa report? Did he ever come out with a report? That was 2017 that he tweeted that. Huh. Cobra Koi said about white people treat blacks the way they do whites in South Africa for Earl. And that is true. Whites are getting treated in South Africa. I don't know. I suspect it might be worse for whites in South Africa now than it was for blacks in South Africa then. I don't know, though. Anyway, thank you guys for the support. I feel like there was one more super chat, a colorful chat on Trovo that got disappeared. Hang on. Maybe not. Check. Oh, okay, yes, Brandon M. Brandon M, man, you've been looking for this. He said, did you see where the two Asian women senators aren't going to vote for any Biden cabinet members unless they are POC? And white, only if they are LGBTQSTD. That's a colorful chat from, and colorful keyword, from Brandon M over on Trovo. Yeah, I heard something like that. What was that, Maisie Hirono from Hawaii? And probably somebody else? I heard something like that. I might have that in more on that information. Yeah, Tammy Duckworth is the other one. This is from CNN. 2 Asian American senators. Asian American means not American. Anti-American. Anyway, Tammy Duckworth, yep, Democrat, anti-American. Yeah, I know she served in the military, lost a leg or two, but she is anti-American. So is Mazie Hirono. Anti-man, anti-white, anti-Christian, have raised issues about Asian American representation on Biden's team. They have backed off threats to oppose certain nominees after the White House agreed to add a senior-level Asian American Pacific Islander liaison. How hard can I roll my eyes at this mess? Terrible. Thank you to Meave for the super good controller chat thing over there on Trovo. Yeah, Tammy Duckworth. What a mess. Okay, guys. You know what? We're coming up to the... let me get a clean break in. We're coming up to the end of the first hour here. I have Rick on the line. Maze wants to address Bible Go-To Guy. Or Bible 2 Guy, as she sometimes calls him. Kevin in Chicago wants to address the Boulder shooting. John in Florida, first-time caller, wants to address the blacks with attitude. BWA or NWA. All right, guys. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see whom I get to, and as well as some of this other mess. Hang tight. I will be right back. Enjoy this from Bright Lights, I think.
Perfect way. I want to be with you all of the time. I want to be with you. I want to be with you all of the time. I want to be with you. I want to be with you all of the time. I want to be with you. I want to be with you all of the time. To be with you. The harder I try, the more it escapes me. The faster I run, the further it fades from me. Going the distance has never seemed so hard. And the longer I wait, the more it hurts me. And the deeper the pain, the more it works for me. I didn't think that I could make it this far.
Simp music, says Epstein's ghost. Ouch. But Zach from Columbus says, good song, Hake. Yeah, that's Loved in a Perfect Way by Bright Lights. John Parfit, Bright Lights. It sounded kind of dark. He's like, doesn't he say, I want to be with you all the time? Yikes. Does he say that? I'm not sure. Okay, Joel's not sure. It sounded like he was saying that. Daft Punk Who says, Willie Palomino. Good to hear from you, Willie. What's up over there on Facebook? Nice. Did you know I stream on Facebook as well? I'm on YouTube, Trovo, Facebook, D Live, and of course, Periscope. Did Earl go to school in the USA? Earl just showed us what is wrong with the blacks. Not all, says Wayne and Rhonda. over there on Periscope. Stalker music, says Ninja Huey. Yeah. Yikes. But people are saying good song, Hake. Trump support 2021. It is kind of centrist simp, says Canadian David. Okay. Summer Fire is Leanne Rose's favorite by him. Yeah, Summer Fire is the opening song to when JLP, I believe he went to MacArthur Park and interviewed a bunch of illegals on the streets over there and homeless people and others about that stuff. Yeah, that's it. It's a very good song. Okay. Let me quickly get to Rick in Hampton, Virginia. He's been on hold forever. He wants to comment on slavery in Africa. Rick, how are you doing?
My brother Jay, what's happening, man? How you feeling?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How about you?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, Jay. I'm doing pretty good.
So what's up?
And I like
Yeah.
to comment on Africa. Look, every time when you hear most blacks talk about Africa, they talk about the pyramids. Okay, that was done back in 5,000 years ago during the biblical days.
Right.
What have they done recently, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, only thing
Good question.
most African leaders, all they do is enrich themselves and keep that military strong so they can control the people. And the people over there is in poverty. Africa is loaded with resources, but it gets mismanaged.
Yeah.
Then you try to hear them blame European colonialism. I'll say, okay, that happened years ago.
Right.
Natural resources come back.
Yep.
So they have companies come in there. They will not tax them from having plants up in there. So as long as they get the kickback, they don't care about the people of Africa.
That's true. And you know what else is going on? There
What's
is
that?
some blame going on about all the charity that goes on. Free stuff that is shipped over to Africa. And that undermines some of the local businesses, the grain, the people who are farming and all that stuff, because free food gets shipped over there, and it just undercuts the people who are making food over there or growing and harvesting food over there.
That's a good point, Jane, because when countries send money to Africa, they get that too, and that goes to the leadership and the military probably, and the people never see it.
Yep. And they don't even need to be giving anything over to them. It is, I mean, exceptions to the rule maybe, who knows, right? But there's a whole lot of misguided missionaries and do-gooders who do all this stuff over there, and it's for the worse. It's like kind of female-minded, making things worse by giving.
Yeah, giving more to the leaders, and they never give it to the people anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they never ever give it to the people.
Yeah.
And you got all these black churches, James, and they claim the black church has billions of dollars, and they hardly ever send black evangelists to Africa. It'd be mostly white. Don't tell me the black churches are broke now.
Yeah.
And no one ever answered that question.
Right.
I mean, you got churches, black churches got maybe billions of dollars, you know, but yet they I don't see them sending many blacks over to Africa.
Yeah. Interesting.
You know, and I'm just tired of it, man. It's like we look to blame everything. And white supremacy. Golly, I can't stand listening to CNN, man. I'm telling you, man, they say white supremacy so over and over. Ain't no such thing as white supremacy.
I know. It used to be that they didn't. It used to be that journalists didn't outwardly speculate about people's supposed racism and stuff like that. But now they're just brazenly calling people racist and sexist.
Man, my God, calling people sexist never got to know the man, don't even know the man.
Yep.
And call them racist because it fits their agenda.
And they'll call somebody racist or sexist if they say something that happens to be true. They did it to Trump a lot.
Oh yeah, that was the whole thing. A lot of people just disagree. We had training today, sensitivity training.
Oh gosh.
They was telling us we can't. You know how you share something on Facebook, you can't share your political candidates and stuff like that.
Yes.
You can't do none of that, man. I mean, you know, it's just amazing. I mean, it's getting worse. I knew that would happen during the Biden administration. I noticed I don't hear a lot of liberals talking about the gas prices. I don't hear a peep out of them.
Right.
The border, they don't know nothing about it. That tells me that CNN, they get all the information from CNN, and they refuse to research anything.
Yeah. It's not good.
It's not good. Absolutely, it's not good.
Well, I appreciate it, Rick. It's good. It's good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you, James. I'm looking forward to one day coming over there and meeting y'all. If I'm in L.A., I would love to come to y'all church service.
Yeah, you totally should.
You know, I mean, I'm looking very forward to it.
And you know what? I hear that. Well, I don't know. If we're ever out in that side of the country, you should make a point to meet us up.
Yeah, I would love to, man. Hey, I tell you, man, people would listen to y'all guys, man, and learn a whole lot. And the Bible go-to guy, he was on point. He had a lot of good questions.
Yep.
And, you know, when blacks can't answer it, they just in case of emergency, break the glass and scream racism.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Rick. Take care, man.
All right, James. Love you guys. Be blessed.
All right. You as well. Very nice. I got to get to my favorite caller, and then I'm going to point out something interesting about the Boulder shooter. What was said about the Boulder shooter by one of my favorite news outlets, quote-unquote news outlets, TheSkimm. Maze in Dayton, Ohio. How are you doing?
Hello, James.
Hey.
Now, Rick is a perfect example of what Bible go-to guy wants to have a black man to be.
And what is that?
Everything
Sensible?
he say, I believe.
Sensible?
Everything,
Christian?
Everything he say, I believe it. Just because he's a Caucasian and I'm supposed to believe everything he said and it's right. That's what I mean when it comes
well,
to
Bible
like
go-to guy did text me and said, thank you, Rick.
So now let me get to Bible go-to guy. This is why I call.
All right.
Bible go-to guy.
But hold on. Rick is an independent thinker a little bit.
No.
And that's why he agrees with Bible go-to guy.
He's the kind of man Bible go-to guy is talking about.
No,
he's saying what we want to hear to make him happy. Now let's get to my point.
You're being silly, Maze.
Let's get to Bible go-to guy.
Okay.
Now he wants to talk about they gave people Christianity. Where did he get his Christianity from?
I said that. I'm the one who said that.
Well, when y'all came over here, what did y'all bring?
Christianity.
And your ancestors and disease, which y'all have a disease of hatred or whatever it is in your heart. Y'all got a
Lord.
disease that needs to be cured.
Oh, Lord. Are you saying that whites are the only ones with hatred in our hearts?
No, I'm not saying the hatred. The things that you do.
The things that we do are hateful?
How many people, and why are those people over in Africa? Why are those Caucasians over in Africa? And those, was they there? Did they come there, or were they just?
They founded South Africa.
Really?
Yeah, nobody else was there in Cape Town.
Yeah, right. I bet nobody was.
No, it's true.
Nobody here. It was nobody here. Where did y'all come from?
I'm sorry. This is the world, and we're in it, and it's our world too. I'm sorry, Maze, if you can't stand that white people exist in the world too, but white people exist.
Can we tell you about your disease that you have? You think you're the only one.
It's like Oreo cookies saying trans people exist.
No, you think that you're the only one exists, nobody else exists.
No, you're the one who's acting like white people shouldn't exist.
No, you got to dictate to where everybody else do. Those days are over.
You were better off when we were doing that.
Let's get back to the Bible with Bible go-to guy. He's not smart. He's bright. I'm going to call him bright because he's not smart. And who's he inferior to?
Bright is better than smart, honestly.
That's the stupid education that he grew up in.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying. So he said that
Wait. Back up. What did you say?
He said we were inferior to him.
Because of this spirituality. You guys don't believe in God.
He looking for the Bible. And
no, he based it on the spirit. Something wrong with you guys' spirit.
No, we have a spirit that can tell what you're going to do before you even do it. So
yeah, right.
Yes, right. We
That's your imagination.
They think we're supposed to follow them. And when is the last time they built something that looked like him built something? Really?
What?
When is the last time that somebody else built it and you stole it and claiming it was yours?
As an individual? I don't know.
I'm saying, since he want to know when is the last time black people did something, he's still living off the stuff that they created when they came from Africa.
Not true. Give me a break. Nobody's living off of slaves' work right now.
No. Do you know what the real McCoy is?
The real McCoy?
Yeah, the real McCoy. Who did it, and how did it come about?
That's based on the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Really?
No,
Well,
I made that up. I'm being silly because I don't know what you're talking about.
You have to be educated. When people be telling you the truth, y'all want to ignore it. Oh, that's not important. The most
But
important
some of this
thing
stuff is not
the first
important,
man-
Maze.
The first man that was president of this country was named John Hampton. They have a picture of him.
Was he
but
black?
they will not show.
Was he black?
You'll never know, and I'll never know because they will not show his picture.
Because I heard that. I heard it
amazing.
said that the first actual president was
When y'all
black.
was fighting each other, yeah. When y'all was fighting each other, yeah.
Okay.
Y'all brought the North and the
That
South
just
fighting
shows you that people were normal people back then, too. It
just
wasn't all
wasn't
this
normal.
imaginary racism.
James, how normal could it be when y'all was fighting each other, brother against brother?
That's
And you
how it
always
goes,
talk about
man.
the Bible.
Maze, that's always been the way of the world.
So which came first, the Torah or the Bible?
The Bible is part of the Torah. I mean,
No,
the
I
Torah
asked
is
you
part of the
what.
Bible.
I didn't ask you part. Which came first,
The Torah.
or the Bible?
The Torah.
So how can
The
you
Torah is
recognize-
what is the Torah? It's like the
That's
Old
okay.
Testament, parts of the Old Testament, right?
But where did the Bible come from? Out of the Torah. And you talking about a Bible go-to guy? He needs to go to the Torah and learn things.
Oh,
and,
gosh, you're being
write down.
silly.
And what are you saying?
The
was in
Pentateuch, I think, is the first
Israel
5
is
books.
in Africa?
I think the Torah might be more than that. I don't know.
Israel is in Africa? And is he dumbing the two
Spark
dumb to know that?
Plug. You know what Spark Plug says about you, Maze?
I don't care.
Sigh.
Do you think it's supposed to bother me?
It
Let me
sounds
say
more
it.
like a groan the way I read it.
To see how
Sigh.
Can't take it. When you can't take it, you get the. And as I say, Rick was a perfect example of how Bible go through with his illness wants to own him like an animal.
Maze
And
is
when
so
y'all hear me
ignorant.
say- and when you hear us say, when I hear you say that we should be happy, our ancestors should be happy that they were slaves. You should be happy that they were slaves, and then do you like the North and the South?
Yeah, I am happy they were slaves.
That's the happiness that you should be. So if they weren't peaceful people, they would have told everything up, and you wouldn't. and
I'm
Native
saying
Americans
you
would have
should
never
be
let you know.
happy.
No, I shouldn't be happy about nothing.
Why not?
Because I guess I should be happy about all of the. It's like we can say when black people used to be in Congress as Republicans, and all of the land and everything they have. What happened to it? What happened to it? So y'all always were screaming about Republicans.
What happened to what?
They like to have a Senate.
Maze. I gotta go.
I know you got to go because you don't like the truth.
But
like
you're not
the-
making sense. You
I say we-
jump around
like-
so much.
like you scream about the
Nobody's
Democrats.
Are you? No, I don't think Joel's following. I don't even have to ask him.
No, what I'm saying, James, is when you scream about the Democrats,
Yeah.
when blacks were Republicans and they had the House, they were in the House and the Senate just like they are now as Democrats.
I'm
and,
getting a headache.
I know you're getting a headache because the truth hurts.
All right, nice
And
talking
don't
with you,
wanna
Maze.
hear it. And then your history books that you put out, half of it in there is not true. So tell Bible go-to guy to get the Torah and the church.
You
that he
have a
go
good
to,
day.
And all the people that he don't mess up as altar boys, he need to shut up and be quiet and get in the chair. And have a good one.
All right, you too. Very nice. Not sure what she was trying to imply about Bible Go-To Guy, but I'm sure it was false. It's not the first time she falsely accused Bible Go-To Guy of doing bad things. She claimed he's of the age that he probably spit on black people because he's just the right age and he's white, so he probably spit on black people. And then she switched it after we confronted her on it. She actually said this and said, oh, metaphorically, he's spitting. Well, she didn't say metaphorically, right? But he's spitting on them every day with the stuff that he says. She said that Bible Go-To Guy probably spit on people. Ridiculous. Meanwhile, there's footage of Bible Go-To Guy with like a bloody head from illegals throwing bricks at him. He was protecting the boomers, or actually the older than boomers. Anyway, it's terrible. So quickly, interesting thing that I saw while reading the female-run outlet, TheSkimm, before I get to Kevin in Chicago. On Wednesday, today, describing the Monday shooting in Boulder, Colorado, TheSkimm described the suspect as a 21-year-old man. I have the screenshot of the TheSkimm's thing. Joelle, if you could pull up that, TheSkimm Boulder. TheSkimm Boulder. A 21-year-old man arrested. The gunman, a 21-year-old man, has been charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder. Okay, so that's TheSkimm. And it's a female-run outlet, so I take offense when they say man. I don't like their attitude when they use that, when they write that word, because I can imagine that they have a bad, nasty attitude towards men. Probably raised by a single mother, but who knows? Or a messed up father, right? Weak father. And then back up to the 18th last week, 2 days after that shooting in Atlanta, a 21-year-old white man. That's interesting. That's interesting. And then they speculate about all this anti-Asian hatred. Racist. They called the other guy racist. This is the Boulder shooter. That's the picture of Al-Isa Ahmad Al-Aliwi Al-Isa. Could pass as white. Looked like my friend Marco, but with less hair when I was growing up. Actually, Marco lost a lot of weight. He got fit. And that's him in a younger picture. Looks better there. Oh, wow. Man. But apparently he was a bit of a misfit. And he was taught and brainwashed and trained in believing that he was a victim of Islamophobia, I hear. Yeah, looks good. Looks terrible for 21, says Base America First. Yeah. I'd be upset too, honestly. But not that kind of upset. Terrible. Den Tajan says, why is he alive? Apparently because he was not that committed if this was a terror attack of a Muslim. Because those guys, they get hyped up on those drugs and they don't mind getting themselves killed while taking others with them. So just interesting, TheSkimm calls the white man a white man, but the Muslim man, they'd left that part out. Don't even mention his name, even though the name is well known. Mo Betta Stand Up with the Ninja Guinea says, scholarly review of anti-USA media coverage. Difference, Virginia Tech shooting, mass shooting from about 10 years ago, give or take, versus the Atlanta sex spa shooters. Yeah, check that out. Compare and contrast. The Virginia Tech shooting was by an Asian guy at a college over there in Virginia. I remember that. Okay, I got to get to Kevin in Chicago about this Boulder, Colorado shooting. The lines are full once again, guys. What's up, Kevin? How are you doing?
Jake, how the hell you doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
Hey, man, I just got to say, leave it to the Angloid to classify everybody as white. Remember in the Constitution, it said every free white man or something like that?
Yeah.
No one did that before. Everybody classified themselves as their nationality. You're an Irishman, you're a Polishman, you're a Frenchman.
I mean, that's what's unique.
Hold on.
That's what's unique about America.
Yeah, well, now look at us. Now they're classifying Arabs as white.
Yeah.
An Arab from Syria is a white man now, according to the
I know.
The Marxist communist left. I guess that means that what we're doing in Syria is a white genocide, and what we're doing in Iraq is a white genocide.
Yeah.
I guess it's
Fair
just
point.
sickening. It's sickening the way they're trying to twist this. Everything's just demonization of white people. And when it's anybody with white skin, really. But the thing is, when it comes to white people and when it comes to race, Americans are so clueless. It's like, oh, you got white skin, you're white.
Right.
No, white people is people of European descent.
Right.
A Middle Eastern Syrian is not a man of European descent.
Right.
And they classify this stuff. And I mean, there's Asians, there's Vietnamese people who got whiter skin than me. They're paler than me.
Yeah.
Are they white? No, of course not. They're Oriental, Asian, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're just trying to demonize white people, and it's ridiculous. Jake, what are we going to do about this? It's insane the way they're twisting this.
Yeah, it's true. You know, they're white when they're perpetrators, these people, but they're Jewish or they are Syrian or Muslim or homosexual or whatever when they are victims. They don't classify them as white when they're victims, only when they're perpetrators. Whites are the perpetrators, never the victims. Yeah.
They're people of color, they're brown refugees, brown people.
Yep.
Oh, but he did a terrorist attack, now he's a white man. He's an American white man. Oh, my goodness. You see, man, they got no shame. It doesn't matter. What's that rule? Zelensky, rules for radicals. It doesn't matter. They have no shame. They have no honor. They have no integrity.
Very true.
Whatever helps their end goal, they're going to push it. So we got to stop being nice and start fighting these people because they don't play fair, and we can't play fair either.
Right.
I mean, you look at that dude over in Georgia. The people they said that it wasn't race motivated. There's no motivation. The dude was just a nut job.
Yeah.
And now the people are saying, "Oh, it's white terrorism. It's a racist against it." It's just even with the facts, even with their deep state government telling that it's not, they still speak these falsehoods. But what are you going to do? We got to come down on them harder next time. Keep exposed. Keep what you're doing a great job exposing them, calling them out, mocking them for the nut jobs they are. And that's all we can do at this moment. But keep it up, Jake. I'll leave you to it.
Appreciate it, Kevin. Good call. Take care, man.
All right.
Very nice. Yeah, and be a good example. Be a perfect example. Let me talk to Justin in Michigan. Justin, how are you doing?
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing? Hey, good.
Doing well, thank you.
I get it. Yeah, I'm pretty well, doing well. All right. I heard Mays. He's sounding crazy again.
Right.
I want to say Mays, the Old Testament, when Jesus came, when Christ came, that's how we know what Christ did. And so that we can follow Christ, and we would follow the New Testament.
Yeah.
We wouldn't go following the Old Testament. That's what makes us Christians, Mays.
You know what? She's so all over the place. She thinks that I'm getting a headache from the truth that she thinks that she's telling. And she may be saying some factual stuff, but she's so all over the place and talking so fast, and I try to say something in response, and she's still talking, that I have no clue what she was saying or what her point was. And so she really needs to calm down. And she knows this, too. We've been telling her. She's worse than usual today, I think. Usually I can track with her better than the rest of the people here. But anyway, good point.
Yeah, they're going nuts. I mean, they're getting all this free crap, and they're still going nuts. They're not going to stop at this 25,000 anything. They want more and more and more.
Yeah,
but
it's
the
so true.
Colorado shooting, you were just saying how they never get pointed out for being Muslims.
Yeah,
and we're allowing these. Well, usually they don't get pointed out, and nothing in our classrooms teach about Islam. They don't teach about the slavery Islam brought to the West.
Yeah,
and caused. They don't talk about how 10 times more many slaves went to Brazil than the United States.
Wow.
They don't talk about how it's about 1.8% of the whites that own slaves in America. The big, huge farm owners. We didn't want you in our backyard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And most of us were just trying to live. We don't want you in our families.
Right.
And when I see this, I also want people to know that 75% of the Quran is about you, the non-believer. It's about you, and it's not nice stuff. And so I want to read you just a real couple quick things. The Jews call Uzair son of Allah. The Christians call Christ son of Allah. That is a saying for the mouth. They but imitate the unbelievers of old used to say, Allah's curse be upon them, how they are deluded from the truth. They say this every morning to you. And then this is what it says, Quran, verse 929. Fight those who believe not in Allah in the last day, nor those who hold that forbidden which has been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth, Islam, even if they are people of the book, the Christians and Jews, until they pay the jizya tax, non-Muslim tax, with willing submission and feel themselves subdued.
Crazy.
Now, this is what when you start paying this tax, it's Quran verse 929. All verse of Quran 9, not chapter 9, is disgusting. So is chapter 3, and so many. But right after this tells you what happens when you have to pay this tax. What happens when you're under Sharia law? Well, then you become a dhimmi. And when you're a dhimmi, the honor of Islam lies in insulting. We are kuffar and the kafirs. We are dirty. That we are dirtier than all creatures, called najis in Arabic.
Wow.
That one who respects the kafirs dishonors the Muslims. So if they respect us, they disrespect the Muslims. The real purpose of levying jizya on them, tax, is to humiliate them in such an extent that they
he disconnected. Thank you. Interesting. I mean, we get the point. Kumara Thumper, says Steve Strack. But thank you. Appreciate the call. There's a whole lot of mess that people get into. Lies are endless. Whether you're Muslim or you're one of those Christians that thinks you're a Christian, you're not actually living it. Or you're a Jewish person or an atheist. Endless lies. And their arrogance, the arrogance is endless too. Let me talk with Fred in Los Angeles, California. He wants to talk about a guaranteed income in Oakland, California. Fred, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, Hank, how are you doing?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I just realized that, like, how this $500, I think, bill passed in Oakland for so-called low-income families. And there's also been a lot of talk in the news about, like, how children in cages and all these, like, immigrants coming here.
Yeah.
Like, this is basically what the left does. And, like, I'll be honest, I'm liberal, but, like, this is exactly what they do to take the man out of the home.
Yeah.
Where they offer the families, especially the women, like, free stuff, and then that actually enables them to leave the man.
Yes. You know, you just referenced Oakland. This is the headline from KTLA 5, just to get everybody up to speed. Oakland, as in California, it's up in Bay Area. Oakland launches a guaranteed income program to give low-income families $500 per month. That's reported by Associated Press. The mayor of Oakland announced it. Privately funded program with no rules on how they can spend it. It's crazy.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, I was actually raised, like, over there in Mexico, so I know what it's like to be on a third world country. And if you went to any Latin country, you will find that the woman and the man, like, they all know their role.
Yeah.
Like, the woman stays at home, the man works, and that's like a very conservative lifestyle. It is when they come here that they begin to be offered all these services, programs, and all this crap by the left.
Yeah.
And then they realize, you know what, I don't need a man. Why do I need a man when I could just be getting all this stuff from the government?
Yeah.
So the government becomes daddy, and then they just leave the man, or they treat men like they're second-class citizens. Like, they know they have a backup. And I've been warning, like, all my cousins, and I've lost some family members just by telling them the truth, but that is what's going on.
They've cut you off?
Exactly. Yeah, well, they don't. It's more like they'll cut me off, or they'll try to say, like, I'm crazy, right? And something like that. I have my flaws, don't get me wrong. I know that I have to, forgive and all that, so I'm aware of that. I'm not perfect, but this is what they do, and they're so good at it. It's so silent, and it's perfect. And now they're starting to follow the black example of how they're also replacing the man in the home. Except that in the Hispanic community, it's not as bad, but it's getting there, and it's slowly getting there thanks to this program.
Yeah.
That's why, and it's true when people say, you know what, like, how come there's all these women with so many kids and stuff like that? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is because the Catholic Church looks bad on abortion, so that's actually kind of like a positive, but it's also negative when you're just trying to have all these kids with programs and stuff.
Right.
And then the second reason is because, well, let's face it, you got more kids, you get more money, you get more services.
Right.
You get more dough, and then, like, all these things pile up, and it's like they're receiving a salary from the government, and this just basically, like, takes away the quality of the Hispanic or the black women, and then, like, that's where, like, all this interracial dating can probably be brought up into account. But yeah, it's just ugly, and I've been saying this out loud, but it's just like people, especially here in California, they don't listen, or maybe they are aware, but they're just afraid to be part of the truth that they'll get singled out. And I know what that's like. It's not good.
They take the bribe. It's a shame. You should not be taking the bribe from the government in terms of giving you a free guaranteed income, I'm not for that at all. And especially, they never come in with the right solutions. It's a shame.
Exactly.
I appreciate it, Fred. Good points.
Thank you, Hank.
Good to hear from you. Take care. Bye. Stephanie in New York. She has an interesting topic. I'm not sure where she's coming from. Stephanie, what are you up to?
Hi.
Hey.
This is Stephanie from the Trader Joe's.
Oh, yeah.
Situation. Well, I'm glad to know you haven't heard about this because it went viral thanks to that Sean King character.
Oh, Sean
the other
King.
Day, I was in a bagel store with my kids trying to buy them some bagels, and they gave me problems about masks. And the security guard asked me why I couldn't wear one. I said I have a medical exemption, and she said, okay. And the people online were mad about this and talking trash about me. And finally, the security guard was like, here, just take her and let her get out of here. So I get up to the counter, and the guy, he was a black guy with dreads, and he said to me, why can't you wear a mask? And I said, I have a medical exemption.
Yeah.
And he was like, what is it? And I'm like, I don't have to tell you. And he's like, he was just giving me an attitude, and he said, don't look at me like that. And I was wearing sunglasses, and I was like, how am I looking at you? You can't see my eyes. He's like, well, I can tell from your face how you're looking at me. And I'm like, dude, I have sunglasses on. You can't tell how someone's looking at you when you can't see their eyes. And he's like, we're not serving you. You need to get out of here. And then I did the worst thing I could possibly do, it seems. I called him a bitch-ass N-word with the A at the end.
Uh-huh.
And there were people recording me, apparently, and this got into the hands of Sean King yesterday, and now it's all over the internet, and, like, my mom, myself, everyone's just getting constant death threats from BLM.
That is ridiculous. People have, like, no mercy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got CPS called on me last night. I already had it because of my kid's father, but they came last night, and it's going to be more drama with that.
Man, I put the headline in the folder from the Gaily Grind. I don't know what that is. Man, Stephanie.
Yeah, it's all over the news. If you look, the Bagel Karen.
But you use the A at the word of Nigga.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to say
but the way that they
F-word.
wrote the headline, they put N******Ger.
Yeah, and they're saying I'm a white woman. Like Sean King has any right to call anyone a white woman.
You're what?
I'm a white woman.
Yeah.
Like I can't say this because I'm a white woman.
Right.
And I don't understand because Spanish people say it to each other all the time.
I know.
You know, I'm pretty much
But
a wigger
you
anyway.
know that the culture is so anti-white, anti-freedom that if this got out, this would get you. They would go after you. Are you surprised at this attack?
Yeah, because I didn't really think they would do anything with it. I've done a lot of this kind of anti-mask stuff in the city when people are harassing me, so nothing has ever caught on like that.
I don't think that it would catch on, but like that, if you hadn't used the B word, A word, N word.
Yeah.
Guh.
I was going to use the F word, but I figured, like, I'm not LGBTQ, and I identify more with the N word because my kid's father uses that word all the time. My kids are black. I have people calling me up saying, what are you going to do if your kids say that? I'm like, they're going to be friends with kids who say that. Like, they live in the projects. Like,
well,
they're going to be normal if they
Stephanie,
say that.
it's wrong what they're doing to you, but you
I lost
you
my
were looking
cool.
for
I know
attention.
it.
I don't know. I told you to relax.
I know, dude. I was calm. If you watch the video, I'm calm in it. I'm not screaming or
But just
yelling.
you can calmly do wrong.
Yeah.
You got to calm down.
Dude, I mean, these masks
And
are
I'm not at
crazy.
all surprised that they're coming down on you because you're a white-looking woman, and you said the so-called N-word.
Yeah. What do you think Jesse would say? I want to.
You get what you deserve?
Yeah.
Because you're looking for trouble.
Really? By
Yeah.
not putting a mask on?
You're
By
not
letting
just
these
not
people
putting
win?
you're not just not putting a mask on, and you know it.
But Jesse said that white people have to stand up. We have to.
In the right way. You're not doing it in a sane way.
Oh my God! But I was.
Are you doing it in a
this
sane
video.
way? Is it sane to go in this culture where they go after whites for saying the N-word, and you know that, to go out and say B-word, A-word, N-word, and you think that's setting a good example in front of your kids?
Yeah, thanks. That's what TCS is going to say.
But do you think it is? Honestly.
No, but these people are just relentless.
But never
with
mind
that.
these people. It's about you.
Okay.
You got to
All
be
right.
perfect.
Yeah, mature. Okay, you're right, mature.
Yeah.
I got it.
But I appreciate the tip. Wow. You're famous. Congrats. But people are calling you clout chaser, attention whore, and rightly so, honestly. Don't you think?
Well, look, people are listening to me say that President Trump should be president. The election was stolen. The vaccinations are nonsense. The masks are satanic. So if my message could get out there about what's really going on because of this, then I think it's kind of worth it.
No, it isn't, because you're not giving a good example of those people who believe those things. They're going to lump us all in with this crazy lady who cusses on viral videos with a stroller of kids.
You don't think it's gangster to act like? I mean, seriously, what if I was a black woman?
Gangster?
Saying that? It would. Yeah.
You don't want to be gangster. Why are you trying to be black?
I
know you got with a black guy.
I'm Italian, dude. Like, I'm
Oh,
from
okay.
New York City.
Basically, you are black.
I'm not like this little white bitch from the suburbs that they're trying to
be
make
cuss.
out to be.
Look,
Oh,
you
I'm
can
sorry,
say, yeah. I mean, even you can't even say that on Jesse's show like that. I don't think.
Okay. I'm not a Becky. I'm an Italian girl. I'm a nice Italian girl. Okay.
You're a
And when we
nice.
get mad,
Did you say a nice Italian girl?
Yes, I am actually.
Yeah, you're nice.
Italian
You're
tough
nice to
girl.
people who are nice to you.
When people push fire at me, I push it back, and that's what this
That's
man
not
was
Christian.
saying.
She's cussing.
I
You know
say my-
that Jesus said, if you're nice to those who are nice to you and hate those who hate you, what good is that? You're just no different from the world. You're trying to shine a light in the world when you're a dark person
Okay.
inside. And you think
But
it's
I
gangster.
I say the silent
Like it's a
prayer,
good thing.
and I forgave my mom. Like, come on.
I know, but
doing what
it's a
I'm
never,
supposed to
it's
do.
a never tire in doing what's right.
This isn't like Jesus going into the money changers and
No.
throwing the tables all over to say you're not going to put a mask on.
No, it isn't, lady.
So you're saying we should be putting masks on?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
So you think I should have just left when they gave me problems?
Not necessarily, but don't give that guy attitude. Like no matter how that guy is acting, you be perfect.
Yeah.
But honestly, you
know.
maybe I mean it's a private business. Put on a mask. Who cares? Or don't put on a mask, but don't act out. You're acting out, and you know you acted out. And you know that they're coming down extra hard on you because you look white. And and that's wrong, but suffer the wrong because you knew that this happens in the culture.
Yeah.
Be careful out there. I wish you well. Watch your back. I don't know what kind of relationship you have with your children's father, but maybe it is best if they stay with him. Anyway.
You're right. Okay. Thank you, James.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Stephanie. Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome.
I definitely wish you well.
Okay. Bye.
Take care. Man. She's a thug. Yuck, says Michelle67. Bagel Karen. Funny title, though, says Jim Justice. Wow, interesting. I didn't expect that. I thought when she said, I'm in a viral video, pretty lady, pretty mama. But it's the inside that counts. I know they added ER, and she said, and G with an A at the end. Adrian Garcia, lynch mob going after her. Well, be careful, lady. Be careful, Stephanie. Let me get to Anthony in New York. Anthony, thanks for holding. What's up?
Hey, James, how's everything?
Everything's fine, thank you. How about you?
Same here, everything is fine.
Cool.
I've called Jesse a few times, and this is my first time calling you.
Yeah.
So, that's great.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Welcome to the Hake Report.
Thank you. And I remember like a couple of callers ago, a guy mentioned how Syrian Christians are now being labeled as white and we're pretty much persecuted.
Yeah.
He mentioned something like that.
Right.
And I'm not sure if you remember because, there's so many callers, but I was the guy that I was raised into a Syrian Christian family. And long story short, I converted to Islam. I got into drugs. It was a whole big mess. But, you have to go into the darkness to reach the light, right? And,
this was while living in America? You did all that converting and drugging and stuff?
Yeah. Yes, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
And it's a crazy story. And so now I'm on my way, back to the fathers of the son. It's not easy. It's not hard. It just is,
Yeah.
But every time, like for example, every time I would in school, every time I would bubble in what I am, I would always put Caucasian, because Syrians, we're not just like regular Arabs. We are the people of Christ, especially the Syrian Christians and the Syrian Jews. We are Mediterranean. We were ruled by the Roman Empire. We were ruled by European countries. We're ruled by pretty much the whole world.
Dang.
So we're a mix of everyone,
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, people say he's white, people say he's black. What really matters is that he's the Son of God. And he's the Word, he's the Spirit. But
yeah.
Christ, and at the same time, Christ was he came from the Sham area, the area that's the Middle East, that's the Holy Land, And before the British came, pretty much the pharaohs and all that, and they divided into Palestine and Lebanon and all those different countries. The whole thing used to be called Sham, which means Syria or Damascus.
Okay.
So Jesus Christ is really, in my opinion, Jesus Christ is really Syrian Jew. He's really he's pretty much everything. You know what I mean? He's a Syrian Jew. He's all in one. And I'm like, you can say I'm a descendant of that. We're all children of God. We're all descendants in spirit, but like blood-wise, I'm literally from that land.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
cool.
So it's like, I just wanted to mention that, but doesn't mean I'm better or worse than anyone. It's just, especially here living in New York, people can see the spirit, and and it's like you get attacked all the time, especially by females and liberals. Right. So it's like it's they're just. It's a mess. That's why hopefully, God opens a way for me out of here soon. And because New York, I don't believe that has a good future, and neither do any blue states. Coming.
So you're trying to get out of New York?
Yes, at least for the time being.
What'd you think about this Syrian guy who shot up the grocery store, Muslim guy in Boulder? Know anything about it?
I heard something about that, but can you explain a little more if you have time, shortly?
I just heard that he was a Syrian refugee, that he was not, from what I understand, he was not born here. He was Muslim. Yeah. And his brother said that he suffered bullying and Islamophobia and would complain about that. And he was basically, I don't know we still don't know the motivation behind the...
Okay. Look, from my point of view and from my experience, what's happening is it's been a pattern for a really long time, probably since the beginning of time. And evil people from every religion, and it's happening now a lot with Islam. They're acting out, and it's not Islamophobia. It's not this. It's just anger. You know, they're angry. Yep. They're living in darkness. They don't know Jesus, and they're acting out of their anger, and they're justifying it through religion and through whatever. You know, so it's really the devil. His greatest tool is religion and politics. So he will use that to divide and conquer. But God is greater than religion. He's a relationship, you know? So it's like these people have no relationships. All they have is religion. All they have is law. All they have is condemnation, and they're just evil people, you know? So you just got to pray for them and do the best you can do, you know? But,
all right. Well, I appreciate it, Anthony. It's good to hear from you.
It was really good to hear from you, too.
Cool. Take care, man.
I appreciate okay.
All right.
And maybe I'll call you another day if God wills.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Thank you. All right. Have a good day.
You too, Anthony. Very nice. I got to get to Art in Ohio. He wants to comment on Earl and Mays. Art, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm all right, Hake. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Hey, Hake, I want to live forever. I'm going to cross that river.
He's laughing. What is that? Your country and Western music contribution for Tuesday?
Yeah.
Very nice. Beautiful.
So check this out. What was that man Earl talking about Africa and Israel and Jerusalem all the same place? Well, if we look at it like that, then none of us know. You look at it like that, then I guess America and Canada and Mexico is all one. It is one place, but it has different demographic and invisible lines to separate them from each other. See what I'm saying? So that lets you know that there are different type of tribes and people in different certain areas. Yep. And Israel and Jerusalem holds Africa to the rest of that continent. You see what I'm saying? So there are more two different peoples. I'm not no African, and for the last caller, I don't know what he's talking about. Syria is he think that was really Jesus. No, it says in the Bible he had woolly hair, feet of bronze, and long story short.
It's funny, everybody wants to claim Jesus. I thought he was going to say it didn't matter, and then he said, but he was a Syrian Jew. He was not white, he was not black, he was a Syrian Jew. So everybody's claiming him.
Yeah, well, check this out. But ask him in Syria when was the last time they was on some ships and was chained up and was sold on a what did it say in the Bible? Said something like they was basically sold in front of. Long story short, none of that happened to Syria. Let alone, I'm here for one more fact.
You're an Israelite, right? You're an Israelite.
I'm tribe of Judah. If that's what you want to call me, that's what I am, and I'm gonna be the best at it.
Okay.
Long story short. So my thing is this: the Negroes over here are the only people in this world that are still lost and are still going through the stuff that talks about in the Bible. Not the Mexicans, not too many whites, not the Africans, not the Syrians, because most of them have intact families. So we know that excludes them. Okay, and I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and leave that point alone, because if anybody follow me, they already get what I'm saying. Okay, so my third thing is with Mays is, honey, you call in every trip and you like 20-0. 20 times you ain't made not one fact, made not 1 point. You called 20 times, you ain't won one logical battle. You zero for that. You ain't got a logical win battle under your belt. 20-0 with non-logical points. It's just like, when I hear her on the phone, I listen to her and everything, and it be just like, wow. It's like you start the school and you would expect the kids not to be on the same page and learning, but at the end of the school year, you would be like, well, dang, Mays, you done been around art all this time. You didn't get any smarter?
Yeah, I know.
It's wild. Then I want to hit you with this. What's up with, you said you had a little dinner date with Holly.
Yeah.
What?
She came to town. I had to take her out.
What? Oh, where's Paul? Where my Paul Jesse at?
He was here.
Oh my God! So what he say? He did was do he like her? She cool?
Yeah, she's cool. Yeah.
Better not be no bait. She better not be no beta working for AOC on the low.
I know, huh? We'll have to watch out. Watch closely.
Watch closely.
Yeah.
But what's up with the last? What's her name? The Italian Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie. Did you hear that call?
Wow, what a libtard. She's gonna be.
What do you mean by libtard? What do you mean? Explain.
She's a liberal retard. She ain't got no logical fact or brain in her. Not at all.
You're talking about the lady who was against masks, and then she went into the shop and called the shop guy who started to refuse to serve her, which they have the right to refuse to serve you, I think. That's but she called him a B word, A word, N word guy with the G-A.
And then gonna tell you she trying to stand up and help for Trump. Nah, you don't stand up for Trump because Trump people and conservative whites and blacks, we don't act and talk like this.
Right.
You ignorant for you to even swoop down, even get emotional, get out of tune like that, and even say some stupid stuff like that. Already let you know you ain't no conservative. And you can already tell she ain't married. She ain't in contact with her dude and her kid's father. They more than likely ain't got no relationship. Because if she's willing to act like that, and knowing his cameras and knowing the time that we in with all this racial tension, and the cashier is a liberal too, and that's the sad part is you got these liberals out here running wild, and they just gonna attack each other.
Right.
And the sad part is I just got to make sure I stay away from y'all because y'all going to kill each other.
Yeah.
Definitely are.
Right.
And it's just sad because she said that what was her logic? Oh, the kids don't hang around other black kids, and they say it. Sweetie, if you was down here where I grew up at, oh, my God, baby, them kids, we would run them up out of the neighborhood, literally, and you would be right behind them. You wouldn't last 2 weeks where I was acting with that mindset. I don't know how they do in New York. And where Italians be at, the mafia. No. Y'all
she is
tripping.
Italian.
I don't care where she is. She Jew or what. You come down here with that nonsense, thinking you just gonna be saying what you want to say. And I'm not. I don't care. You can call me a nigger, all you want to.
Right.
I'm just gonna look at you and say you're stupid because I ain't neither one of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just crazy. And the crazy thing is, she just wants attention. That's all she's one of these beta liberals that want attention, and clearly she don't watch your show because if she did, she wouldn't even have the mindset that she had to even let somebody get her worked up like that. Because truth be told, why, if you know that you got asthma, why don't you just order your food or whatever you got off the line?
You know, Art, I think that this happens to a lot of women and immature males too. They start thinking that they're speaking up and being like Jesus, flipping over the tables and stuff. And she thought that she really, I think, thought that she was doing the right thing for the country. But you're right. She did want attention.
Yeah,
and that is,
she's
she's off. Women get the wrong idea about this stuff sometimes. They take it in directions that it's not meant. Yeah.
Yes, they do. They want to go fight every battle, and then gonna try to tell you she trying to stand up for not wearing masks. I know because I feel like that too. I don't agree with it neither. But my thing is this: what about this is crazy. I kind of lost my train of thought of what I was about to say. Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. That's what I was about to say. Well, you trying to stand up and do what's right. Well, why don't you clean up in your own house and do what's right for your own kids before you go out in society trying to line everybody else up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Very true.
You up here calling black people niggas in front of your kids and then trying to justify it like a typical non-logical beta liberal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I'm gonna get off one more thing, and I'm gonna hop up off here. I'm gonna because I did say this point with that cop that shot that black lady down there in Tennessee. he needs to. I don't know what y'all doing with the police force, man, with all this liberal stuff, man. It shouldn't be no reason why he is as fat as he is, man.
I know.
He needs to
That's
lay
true.
off the donut and coffees or whatnot. Because truth be told, he could have snatched her up out of that car before she even had a chance to even grab that gun. But he was being so soft, so out of shape, and so fat.
Right.
He ain't got no testosterone in him, because he could have just snatched her right out the car, let alone if he wasn't so overweight, he would have been able to run her fat, duck-looking self down.
Yeah, very true. That's a good point. I hadn't heard anybody say that, but that guy needed to lose weight. True. Thank you, Art. Appreciate it. Good to hear from you.
God bless you, Hake, man. Let me give a shout out to Nick, Joel, and Chris, and my pal, Jesse.
Nice. Take care. Before I get to the last callers, I don't know if I'll be able to get to you guys, but hang on. Gabriel in Canada wants to comment on the Boulder shooting, and Sarah from Boston, Mass. wants to comment on Stephanie or ask about her. Historic times, says Mo Betta Stand Up, forcing every human to buy vaccine. Interesting. Yeah. Malkuth X with a couple of diamonds. He says, what effect does society have on you wanting a family? You know, it's a good question. I think it is diminishing people's desire for a family right now. Unless you're talking about me personally. Yeah, maybe me too. Hake, plot twist. Art is Skip McBurney talking black, says Malkuth X. Funny. Mo Betta Stand Up with the diamond and says, ask Art. Oh, sorry, I didn't see this. If he considered trying to move to Israel. Art, would you consider moving to Israel with the rest of the fellow tribes of Judah? Very nice question. Oh, and somebody else said something. Some people said something. Shaggy Boy said, Earl, this Earl is on fire. Kind of like that one lady. And thank you guys, Fluky Unicorn, Beta Legs, Mo Betta Stand Up, and all of you supporters over there. Ninja Huey, Malkuth X, Rikusant, Ricky Ritardo, Al Gorbachev, clever name, Savage Pitbull, and Chuck Schnick 22021-1. I'm butchering the names. Okay. Oh, you know what? We're overtime, guys. Gabriel in Canada and Sarah in Boston, Massachusetts. If you can call me tomorrow or later this week. This is Wednesday. We should have the Bond Sunday service throwback premiere. Mo Betta Stand Up gave a diamond and says, great show as usual, Hake and experts. Thank you. And Stephanie, don't take it too hard. But do check yourself. Do check yourself. And Hot Computer Smell says, Hake's hair is extra good today. Aw, thank you, Hot Computer Smell. TheHakeReport.com for my stuff. Go to Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel or look up Church with Jesse Lee Peterson after 4 p.m. today. 4 p.m. Pacific time. We should have the Bond Sunday service throwback. We had some technical difficulties regarding the rebuildingtheman.com website. Not sure if it's completely up at this time, but you can always call the Bond office for information. 800-411-BOND. 1-800-411-2663. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Yeah.